do the honors. Oh,
Yes, we got a hot female artist out of Long Beach, and she's performed at several of our events in the past.
Yeah, impresario.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So yeah, got the mic.
Okay. Hey, good to
Roseanne Barrzz.
Y'all bagged on me already. But see, if you know me, I'm a Leo and I'm an attention hog. So to miss it, something like this, no, I wouldn't do that.
I mean, there's always next time.
I hear you. But I'll
We
be like,
here every week, and I've been on about being strict on others because it makes us all look professional.
definitely.
It wasn't nothing to single you out or anything like that. We just trying to run it a little different up here. That's all.
I hear you.
So
I
when
like
he
to
showed me your picture, I'm like, that's a hustle picture. That's the picture she sent the nigga something. I need $40 for something. My tire. I need a new tire or something.
seriously.
Oh, I can't make it. Look, I got a nail in my tire. I didn't see no hand,
Hey.
no nothing to
I
symbolize
didn't
or
think
nothing. It's just the tire with the nail, and that's, you know what? She played that. And then he like opened the door. I'm like, oh shit, she here.
Dude, I'm coming. If I was like, do I call Uber? What do I do? My boy like, just go get it patched up. I'm like, are they open? Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For COVID, they don't care about. They
That's
get their
essential
money.
though. Because you got to think about, companies with fleets and shit like that. They need that shit.
yeah, that's a fact.
But yeah, I thought she was hustling. I was like, she pulled that out the photo in the
Man.
library. Like, let me see this. Okay, I'm in there. I'm still
Right
in
off Google.
No, I wanted to jump back on what you guys were talking about earlier because I'm like, I posted I was going to be on this show. Somebody came over here and took the air out my tire. Somebody hating.
What did you want to touch on?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you?
You were talking about where I don't believe. Well, we ain't gonna talk about who whack or who's not, but just watching people not support you that you're close to.
Okay. Go ahead.
And I see it more of an energy thing because, I mean, these are people that rocked with me in the beginning. Ain't nothing really changed. I've heard I got better, so it's like, why are you changing now? What I've analyzed is that just people are into themselves more right now. They really don't have time to think about you or care about what you're doing.
Yeah, but that's different. Somebody supporting you, at the beginning and then later on, I can definitely see the energy, jealousy, all that type of shit can come into play. I'm just saying, period, like, as a friend, you can come to me and I can be like, what, I dig that. And then the next time you come to me, I can be like, that shit is whack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's really what I'm referring to, not just solely saying, or if I think you whack from jump, you may get better, but someone going from you fucking with you to not, like, I wasn't saying that. Like,
Right.
I think that's different.
Because I'm like, what if they're not whack? Then what?
Well,
I mean,
what
you can't tell a person what they hear and see. Like, we debate that all day.
Right.
Well, what I was getting to, because that was the point I was making, was that a lot of times when it comes to, we have to realize that person that has known us, they see us for who we are right now.
Right.
Not for who we are aspiring to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's easier for a person who doesn't know you, who doesn't have
Right.
a backstory of Roseanne Barrzz. You know what I'm saying? And, I knew her since she was 7, this, that, and the third. So a lot of times it's not necessarily about them. It is about personal energy because it's about them,
Right.
person, not you.
Right.
But it's really just them being wrapped into who they know of you right now.
Yeah, I get
And
that.
them not leaving room for you to become more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's another reason why people who don't know you are quicker to be like, oh yeah, I can see that. And
that makes sense.
as
Right.
opposed to like, man, you've been the same old whatever since whatever.
Right.
How you gonna,
Okay.
that's what I, a lot of times people rope you into that.
Okay.
That one particular mindset or viewpoint they have of you, and that's who you are.
Okay,
And
that's
that's it.
better.
You're locked into that forever. And
Okay.
it's just
See,
like, well,
you
damn,
know, a lot of
man,
people
That
don't
was
look
some
at
great
you.
therapy right there.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, a lot of people don't see you for what you are at that moment either.
Mm-hmm.
correct.
They, like she said, they see you for what you were, not what you could be. Like, sometimes you should be in the moment. At the moment, this shit is whack.
Right.
Like, and then later on, the shit may be dope. Like, shit, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
They're gonna let you know shit whack, okay?
yeah, like, I just
Well,
think
you know
that's-
what? I had an artist, this well-known artist, tried to clown one day, and he was like, "Well, your music is okay," and I said, "You know what? Music is an opinion because there was a hit song called 'Because I Got High.'" And Afro Man didn't have no beat in the background. He literally was just da 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 da, and that was a hit song. So I don't want to hear what you think is good and not good. There's no rules to this music.
There's no rules, but you gonna hear it. Like, you should just wrap your mind around hearing that someone's gonna think you whack and then not like your shit and all that. Like why he said, like he's like, oh, yeah, okay, like, you know, it could light a fire under you, you know, it can help you, or it can tear you down. Shit. I just think it's needed. Like, we need Simons in the world. You know how Simon was on American Idol? We need that.
True.
He told a motherfucker they sounded like, what is a dead cat in the day?
She like drowned in something.
Yeah, it was like the voice reminds me of a burnt onion or some shit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, nigga.
Damn, my nigga, how did you think of that shit? Like,
no, the nigga was cold with his shit. Like,
but I think we need that.
Yeah, no, you need a blunt, somebody to be bluntly
like,
honest
here?
with you, you know. But I mean, I think also, I think that goes into respecting the art of what you're doing. Like me personally, because I played basketball my whole life, it really hurts my heart and my eyes to watch somebody terrible on the basketball court. Like it fucks.
Like the nigga that come to the court with all the Jordan shit on,
the nigga with
and
the
nigga
Kobe
can't even
jersey,
make the layup.
the nigga with the NBA headband with the Kobe jersey with the matching
The
shorts, the
backpack,
goddamn
the warm-up
with
suit, everything.
the sleeve and the fucking the shoes, and the nigga want to get picked first. Yeah, like you always getting picked last, want to get picked first every time.
And then
white chocolate, like that shit hurts me because I love the game of basketball. For you, football, watching somebody just fuck up a football drill when you just like, dude, just have a fucking seat. Like I think that also goes into like when you really do have done something for a long time, you've done it at a high level, you really respect it, like Your Excellence was saying, like, I've really studied this. I'm putting time in. I'm learning different skills to support what I truly love. And then you get somebody who come in and just been doing this shit for 2 minutes, don't give a fuck, and then just start hollering at the top of their lungs. You like, how dare you? Come
and then everybody say the hottest shit.
Like, hello, and then you like,
and they on every radio station.
You like, you're like,
they making money, big money at it.
You like, so you need somebody to come in and be like, hey, you're disrespecting this shit. And all the people who have done all this work prior to you to be great at this shit, and here you are coming in just throwing shit at the wall hoping some sticks. No. So I think what everybody's saying is right. You're right. You need somebody to be like, hey, that's not it, because I think people are in denial because people want to be like everybody else. It's very scary to be yourself, which is, for me personally, I don't understand it because me is the easiest thing to be. Like it would be hard for me to be trying to be this nigga. Like it would be. I don't. First of all, I'm not African. I don't know what the fuck goes into that. Now I got to do how I'm supposed to speak, what I'm supposed to want to eat. Like this is too much. It's too much. It's easy for me to be me, but a lot of people, it's easier for me to like. Okay, everybody wants to rap. Everybody got a podcast. I want a podcast now too. I don't know why. But I want one. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just really easy for people to, because if I really have to figure out what I'm good at and what I want to do, that takes some kind of individuality and some kind of effort on my behalf. Like some research on my behalf. Like people would rather, these, like for her, like, okay, she could come up here and this could be riddled in devil dark magic. Not saying they are, you know what I'm saying, but some people would rather, because they're wrapped in a kit and I tell you some shit and it sounds real good. Oh, you know what? That sounds right. I'm gonna take it home and do it. As opposed to, you know what? I heard what she said, but let me do a little research just to see if what the fuck she's saying lines up. Even I'm not saying do a book report. I'm not saying nothing like that, but people would rather take somebody else's opinion for their own than to actually figure out what their own opinion is.
Okay,
just like so many people would rather not think than to actually think. So
I put that in my music a lot. I say that.
That's just the case. That's why it's so many trends. Like I said, you got motherfuckers who just want to rap, but you're really trash. But you could be really, really good at something else. Like, that's what you have for the world.
And what's funny is my life has been opposite. I've tried everything else, and just because everybody does music. I don't want to do music no more. I did it when it was fun, and I was like, every time I step away from it and try to do something else, everybody like, yeah, that's what you're good at. Why are you leaving? I've been trained in this, and I didn't realize it. Like I'm like, okay, I was on stage as a kid. I was doing this. I was around these people, to the point where it's like, what else can I do?
Right. Let's get into that. I read a little bit about your bio is popping too, by the way. PDF file. Shout out to you. That's ready to go. Shout out. Some artists can take advantage of that. Have it on a PDF, so then you just drop it, attach it in the email. It's gone. You ain't got to worry about if the format.
I thought about that. First, I did Microsoft Word. I said, nah, let me PDF that.
Format, that's what I'm saying. That's just learning over time, just to make it as efficient as possible. You want it to be read as well as possible. All those things. So I read that Grandma had you on the stage at 7. Like, come on, you about to come on.
Younger
down
than
here.
that, 4.
Okay, right. You come on down here. You gonna sing for the seniors.
Yeah,
do it for them.
Yeah,
do that little dance.
Handed me the mic. I was scared to death, but you didn't tell Grandma no.
Oh, of course not.
You know that, right? In our day, you didn't tell Grandma no. Now I don't know about these new age kids.
Grandma trying to twerk now.
Oh yeah, that's what it is. Okay, I had the old Grandma.
Right, you had Mama. You had Mama.
Mama,
where she was turning the oven on, marinating the food for Sunday. Saturday night.
Definitely.
Right. So that's
making everybody go to church on Sunday.
That's a fact. You in my house in church on Sunday. I don't care what you're doing on Saturday night. That's why you should have came home and went to bed. Yeah,
exactly. So
Go ahead.
She used to hand me the microphone and just be like, "Sing, Roseanne."
I
know. Hey, it'd be like, I think one time they said I made everyone uncomfortable because I was singing like a virgin, and I'm 5.
I saw it on TV, so I was going to really it.
Yeah, MTV was all I watched. So see, there was my history and studying. It's just MTV stayed on.
Yeah.
And then remember when BET? Well, I don't know how far back people go, but BET had one show, and then it would go off to the rainbow screen half the day. But
right. Okay. Yeah, back in the early BET. Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's where it all began. That's when you started
always
the journey
listening to music.
Okay.
I had young parents, so that's we had a little bit of everything from 70s to just hip hop, the early hip hop, 80s hip hop, so
everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so how did that journey then take you into, you were shoved in front, the mic in front of you. How did you then want to do it on your own?
In high school.
Okay.
In high school, everybody was coming together doing the cypher circles. It just looked cool. And really, for me, like I said, I was trying to get attention of this boy that was always the king of the circle.
Yeah, I saw that. The crush. You wrote the first one for your crush.
Right.
Okay.
Got his attention, but...
I'm alone in my room. I said,
right. He's like, hey, I'm not here.
Yeah, it worked. So.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm sure it was all guys, right?
All guys.
Right, yeah, because I would have been, especially back then, I wasn't going to a circle full of dudes. And I don't know nobody in the circle. Nah, that's too much pressure.
You know the nigga you like?
But for me personally, I gotta, let me pass you in the hallway when you alone or something.
People can't see this.
Because then it's like, what do I come up and say? What do I say? But I mean,
perfect opportunity was I'm gonna write a song.
But for her, she had a record.
Yeah, I'm gonna write a song and get them.
I wasn't writing songs, so I ain't had nothing to say to her. You want to play basketball? Right.
You need someone to talk to.
You stupid. Okay, so you started in the cypher circles, and you started perfecting your craft there. You start with poetry? Did I read that?
Yeah, I did poetry as a kid too.
Okay.
And then because I was taking theater, my real first opportunities was just jumping in music videos with rappers. And I never would tell them I rapped. I just would be around, trying to learn. In fact, I didn't even think I could do it professional at that time. It was a hobby. Until I started seeing them get checks and money, and I'm like, wait a minute, you can get paid to do this?
Right. You paid to be in front of the camera?
Right. And so that's what made me want to do it professionally.
Okay, got you. Okay, so were you a video girl, or were you the main? Okay.
I was the video girl because for a while,
Lisa Ray was a video girl. It's okay. She was a hot piece in a couple videos. So shout out to Melissa Ford too. Shout out to some good.
Definitely. A lot of acting careers got started off of being the video girl.
That's
So
a fact. So it's okay. No shame in that.
Not at all.
Not at all. Not at
Plus,
all.
I wasn't that video girl. A lot of times you'll see me real quick in a video because I would always turn stuff down.
Right.
They'd be like, "Come, you're gonna sit on top of me." I'm like, "No, I'm just gonna collect my check and stand over here." Because I had kids early, mind you.
Okay.
I probably would have been more wild, but my first baby was a girl, and I was 16, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make her proud no matter what."
Yeah.
So
was it from the guy in the cipher?
No, it wasn't. it wasn't.
Okay, fair enough. Had that love story. That hip hop love
I know,
story.
that would have been dope,
Right.
I found him on Instagram. He actually a male exotic dancer, and I'm
Ooh,
like,
uh-oh.
I try to get him to go back to rapping. I'm like, well, look, Sally, this ain't for you. Why
What's
don't
his
you?
name?
He and
Or he
an eruption.
Eruption.
You said eruption.
Eruption. Heat eruption.
No,
I tried to get him to come jump on the album. He like, nah, I'm making more money
Why
doing
you
this.
talk about you, my nigga? That's why you ain't left yet. Oh, okay. I picked it. I picked it.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Oh, shit.
Sis opened the door and everything. Y'all playing that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I got you. So he
He didn't want to give me a feature on the album, but
Okay.
I'm gonna keep trying.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe he'll show you some love with that. Okay, so you said you did theater, and I also saw that you have some acting credits as well. So
Yeah.
you've been in front of the camera. Also, I think I saw Moesha on there. You know
Yeah,
Moesha? Okay.
yeah, it was a
That
lot
my
of.
show.
Really?
Mm,
Okay, I grew up with some of them
Mount to
kids.
the-
So
E to the.
a lot of us went to the same schools and just around the same people. So yeah, it was cool.
that's
Knew a lot
awesome.
of directors. I'd be like, just come, Mine was really about getting the check because of my child.
Mhm.
So I just
Yeah, whatever.
wanted to be in everything to get paid.
I got you. Absolutely. Okay, so how did that turn into, you wanting to pursue something seriously, professionally for yourself, or how did that, evolve?
I like music because you can choose what you want to do versus in the acting world, they tell you what to do. And right. So even what made me really want to get away from it was the auditioning process. Because, that's, I think, the only industry where, they can tell you too big, you too small, you're not dark enough, you're not light enough. It starts messing with you. You be like.
Well, they do that in the music industry too, but a lot in acting. And then you got that whole acting couch thing, or casting couch thing.
Yeah. Definitely. I had to turn a lot of those down too. So I was going to say, I'm the one that had the smaller roles. I looked at videos the other day and I told my sister, I said, how come I didn't get the lead? And then I got quiet, like, oh yeah, never mind.
I had standards.
I wasn't sleeping with none of them folks. So yeah, I was like the girl standing off to the side. I wouldn't.
Your elbow. Got you. It's all good. You got paid.
Got paid. Got them checks.
That's all that matters. But like you said, how did you move into wanting to do it really professionally yourself?
I didn't. It just happened. I was working, just started getting around the right people, handing my demo tapes to people, tapes back then. So just handing stuff over to where people were like, okay, she's good. Let's get her in here. And so, like I said, I didn't really choose it. It chose me.
Okay, yeah, because you went to music school, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that as well.
Well, Long Beach had these programs. We're just sitting in a regular school, but they'd be like, you want to play an instrument? You can get out of class. You want to come do choir? You can get out of class. Join. And so I hung out with the bad kids. And like, everybody had to do it together. Come on, we all going to take this class so we don't have to go to school. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it,
Yeah,
like I said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and that took you down to that road of actually wanting to do music.
Yeah.
Okay, so what have you released yourself?
Honestly, well, okay, I've been features.
Okay.
I don't know why. I'm just really now focusing on dropping my stuff. And like you say, I think it's more now because we have the freedom to do it. I had I was so in the music biz, I was around Suge Knight, Death Row. There's a lot of proof. And I would tell people, shh, don't tell him I know how to rap. People be like, no, don't tell him, because I already saw people not getting paid. Remember, I'm doing this, I want to get paid. At that time I had 2 kids already at 19. So I'm like, I got to get paid and it got to make sense. Yeah. I talked to Suge and I was like, so if the artists don't get the publishing, what do they get? Yeah. And he said, like all the ones that said, I make you famous. And so, though I think how me and Suge were cool, I said, I want to be like you. He backed off of me. I said, I want to be just like you. I want to be a boss. I don't want to be no artist.
Yeah.
And so I haven't released anything of my own just now. Like with the internet, I'm starting to just let people hear stuff.
Okay.
But I was featured. My biggest accomplishment so far was C Night from the Dove Shack.
Okay.
So he pulled me in, put me up under him, and he dropped me on his album. It's called Nighttime.
Okay.
Yeah, Summertime in the LBC.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, a lot
So,
of people don't know that
right.
he made that song.
Right. So I was on a song called Reunited. Back then, I look back and I go, I couldn't rap. I wasn't that was probably my second time being in the studio.
Yeah.
I had this chipmunk voice. I hate listening to my old music. I'll be like, ooh, my voice. I was 20.
Yeah.
So,
you were young.
right.
You sounded younger, I'm sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. So why? I mean, I know you said because you have the freedom to, kind of control your art and whatnot. But I mean, you've been doing music for a long time. Why now? Especially like we've been talking about this whole time. Like, you've been doing it so long. People maybe have told you I don't like it, it's whack. Why not give it up?
Right. Well, like I said, no. I found out the reason I was told that by one person is because, well, maybe 2 or 3 guys and with men, and this is why it's more of a cause for me is to shed a different light on women. Someone mentioned twerking. I don't want to see females twerk, especially when you have a daughter. It's like, I feel like it's something women have been put in a box for a long time. I remember being at a church and these old ladies, they were like, don't go out in that world and be twerking. I cracked a joke they didn't like. I said, you were twerking too. And they got quiet, like, what is she talking about? I said, y'all was shaking a tail feather with Tina Turner. Like, come on.
That's the same thing.
What do you mean the female artists are put in a box?
Women, period. Just I'll go do shows and I'm waiting my turn, and a lot of these females I hear are like basically making their own strip music. I'll come after them and I'm talking about God or just love or just something just
are you
everyday
think they
life.
in that box or they get in that box?
They get in the box because
because the average female rapper now is talking about dick.
Right, because that's what look, who are their mentors though? It's usually Cardi B and Nicki Minaj.
I mean, but I like to use this analogy. Barry White, like he was from the hood, but look what he's talking about.
Right.
Love. So I don't know, like they do the shit they look up to. I get you on that, but I don't want to hear another female rap about dick. Like we heard that shit enough. Like,
exactly, right? And that's what brought me back.
Okay.
You said what brought you back and really want to do it professionally, that right there, because I don't rap about that. So I'm like waiting to hear someone talk about the things I talk about, and I don't hear it.
So you got to make that music you want to hear.
Right.
Gotcha.
Well, not even for me. So I have a 9-year-old now, and at the time when I got back in, she's 7. And see, I left because my grandma got sick. So back to grandma, I went to go take care of her. And I thought I could do industry and take care of her, but that turned into a 24-hour gig. So I gave up. I had literally just met Lil Jon and I was doing music and I was in my prime when I walked away from it, not knowing I was walking away from it. So now I'm jumping back in. I'm 40 and I have no problem saying that because everybody's like, well, you still look young. I'm like, oh yeah, I take care of myself. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'm holding on to it because I feel like I got kind of robbed out of it. Right in my 20s and 30s, I should have really been doing it. I was going hard. And then to take care of grandma, it humbled me to the point now it's like, okay, I can do this, but like I do it for the youth. I do it for the kids. I went into ministry.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
I was wondering how that transition happened. You were very secular.
Right.
You with the
exactly.
Night, and then you go to so.
Yeah, and back then I think I did rap about sex and drugs like everybody, a lot of people, but the whole, like I said, I had to go take care of grandma, go have some real life issues. And I think that's why a lot of older people are still rapping now because it's like a kid come up there and what is he really talking about?
Right. I mean, what the life experience do
right.
have to talk.
Right.
Well, I mean, rap is a young person's game, but with the way technology is now, there's no age cap on being successful.
True.
With anything.
Exactly.
So you could be 40 and still be successful by your definition.
Exactly.
Because of technology.
That's a fact. Yeah, it's agreed. And I mean, like you said, if you want to you are good enough to put out the music that you want to hear because you're not hearing it, be that change you want to see. You know, so that's dope that you want to do that. But I also think when it comes to, like you said, like Elwood was saying, do they hop into that box of twerking or whatever? I mean, because we can do it with male rappers, like we've heard, drugs, guns, money,
right?
Bitches. How many times can we remix those lyrics?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I think that goes into what society has deemed as hot.
Exactly.
Like, those artists like a Wale, like, those more conscious artists, they've had to water it down over time because the shit just ain't sticking like the like that. I don't want to hear go empower yourself.
Yeah.
You can do something.
Wale don't dumb shit.
I mean, he has. He's watered. You've even said that on shows in the past that he's had to because he was coming over niggas' heads too far.
Yeah, but not when I really listen back to him. Not really.
I mean, but he's had to come down just a tad. Just a tad.
Yeah, just
All
a
I'm,
tad.
but it still took time
Bro.
because society has, what people wanna, I'd rather hear, just like reality TV. I'd rather look at the fucking train wreck than some shit that I could really get something from.
Yeah.
So like you said, it's like, why do you do this? So there was a few rappers that passed away, and I remember that big moment where you go to their YouTube and see what is it that they were talking about. And I don't know, I remember it was some guy, I can't think of his name, but I guess he went to a peace rally in Baltimore and got killed. But then so I'm thinking I'm about to hear some right. And he had a song called Hachu, I Caught the Bird Flu. And he was talking about selling birds. And I'm just like,
What?
yeah, the list goes on where it's like, this is I think of later in life. If you died tomorrow, this is your moment. Everyone's going to listen. Right. What is your message?
Right. That's a good way.
And so that's how I make my music. I think, I was watching him and you guys were like, what is his, what's your Instagram? What's your, I only do Instagram. I don't do Facebook. I don't do Twitter anymore. I tried, but I saw what it was about. People on there arguing, being stupid. So I just have an Instagram. And honestly, people are like, you spell your name hard. And I'm like, I really don't want to be found. Not at this time. I'm just doing my life's work. I'm having fun. And when it all comes time for everything to just drop, it'll drop.
Okay.
So speaking of music, we have some songs by you. We have Preach. What was the other one? Because it didn't. The title didn't
say Side Effects, or it could be.
Yeah, sometimes.
The other one was Drunk and High. Those were remakes.
You didn't want that one, right? The Drunk and High.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can get the title. Hold on.
Because sometimes, for whatever reason, when
the title
it'll just say like MIME and it'll just say attachment.
Okay.
I don't know why it does that sometimes.
Did the file come up?
It'll come up and we can like download it. It's just we won't know what the title is.
You could play that one. That's more ministry. I had flipped a Drake and Gucci Mane song both.
Oh, that's crazy.
All right, so we gonna go for it.
Appreciate it. Okay. What's it called?
Preach. We'll get into Preach and then the next one.
Okay.
Preach was actually the name of the guy named it that, but the song title is Netflix No Chill.
Okay, got you. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into this music by Roseanne Barrzz. We'll be back right here on the Morning After Show. Stay tuned. Oh, yeah, I got it. No worries.
You want to take a select now or no?
Oh, yes, we can do that.
Why is he not playing?
You got it on your phone?
Hold on.
Yeah, I do.
She got it on her phone just in case.
We're going to go to the next one.